Good evening and thank you for joining me this Monday. I'm Tonton and these are tonight's top stories. Government able to recover over 10 billion ringgit if the East Coast Rail Link project is scrapped. Police cripple love scam syndicate, raking in millions of ringgit. And fatal bus crash kills 19 in Pakistan. We begin tonight's bulletin with an update on the Bukit Kukos landslide in Pulau Pinang. Another 2 bodies have been recovered from the scene of the tragedy today. The 9th victim, identified as Muhammad Uzal, aged 33, from Bangladesh, was found by the search and rescue SAR team at 5 p.m., while the body of 34-year-old Subairi from Indonesia was discovered several hours earlier. Both were among the 3 listed by authorities as still missing yesterday. The body of the 8th victim was found near a kongsi that was also buried in the debris at 12:20 p.m. State Fire and Rescue Department Deputy Director Muhammad Shoki Hamzah said the body of the Indonesian was found at the depth of 1 meter near the hill, while Uzal's body was found in Sector 3 of the search area and dug out from a depth of 5 meters. He added the remains of the Bangladeshi were found below a wreckage container. The last individual still unaccounted for is Muhammad Rajan, also from Bangladesh. The search and rescue efforts are still ongoing, with more than 80% of the landslide area already covered by the SAR team. Police have busted 3 major cyber scam syndicates, which had raked in some 118 million ringgit from fraud victims between 14 and 21st October this year. Bukit Aman Commercial Crimes Department Chief Datuk Sri Ishar Singh said this was achieved following a maiden joint operation between Malaysian police and their counterparts in Singapore and Hong Kong. He said 51 suspects were nabbed in 3 different operations involving an international syndicate and 2 local ones. They included 48 locals, 2 Nigerians, and 1 from China between the ages of 15 and 60.
Kami telah mengadakan perbincangan dengan Commercial Affairs Department CAD Singapura dan juga dengan Cyber Security and Technology Crime Bureau CSTCB daripada Hong Kong, dan dalam perbincangan kami dapati bahawa terdapat beberapa kumpulan ataupun love scam yang beroperasi di Malaysia, tetapi mangsanya adalah di negara-negara di Hong Kong dan juga di Singapura.
He said 80 units of mobile phones, 4 laptops and several documents believed to be used for fraudulent activities were seized in the joint operation. The case is being investigated under the Penal Code. Meanwhile, more than 20,000 cases of commercial crime have been reported until October this year, involving a staggering total loss of 4.2 billion ringgit. Datuk Sri Amar Singh said the number of such cases is at a worrying level and is expected to increase further by the end of the year. For the record, a total of 30,364 investigation papers on such crimes were opened last year. He added that 56% of these cases are cyber crimes, comprised of Macau and African scams, as well as fake loans. Police have also traced some 39,743 account mules involved with cyber commercial crimes, scams and fake loans nationwide in the past 4 years. Datuk Sri Amar Singh said a huge operation will be carried out by the police to bust the account mules, most of whom are women. The Ipoh Magistrates Court today charged a 52-year-old unemployed man with the murder of his father earlier this month. The accused only only nodded his head when the charge was read to him before Magistrate Siti Hafizah Jaafar. It was alleged that Yo Po Kun murdered Yo Soo Kim, aged 74, between 9:30 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. at their home in Kantan Baru on October 9th. No plea was recorded and the accused was not granted bail. The court then ordered Po Kun to be sent to Hospital Bahagia Ulukinta for a month and set November 16th for mention of the case. It was reported that the remains of Soo Kim were found with his head severed in a 1.5-meter deep sewage tank and a hole that was dug up behind his home. The dreadful discovery was made by the victim's daughter after noticing blood on a mattress, pillow, and wall of the house. The accused was alleged to have acted in a vicious manner after his father repeatedly scolded him for taking shabu in the house. The charge under the penal code carries the mandatory death penalty upon conviction. Moving on to the Dewan Rakyat sitting, the government will be able to recover 10.02 billion ringgit in the event that the East Coast Rail Link ECRL project is scrapped. Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng, who disclosed this today, explained to MPs that the sum represents payments made to the Chinese project contractor, China Communications Construction Co. Limited, CCCC. He also stressed that the project was put on hold by the present administration since July 3rd to negotiate better terms.
10.02 bilion ringgit yang bersandarkan advance payment dan bayaran kemajuan projek sebanyak 9.67 bilion ringgit bagi kerja-kerja kemajuan projek setakat 15 Februari 2018. Perlu dinyatakan bahawa perlu ditarik perhatian yang berhormat bahawa bon bayaran pendahuluan sebanyak 10.02 bilion ringgit boleh ditebus oleh MRL sekiranya projek ini ditamatkan. Dalam erti kata lain, sekiranya berlaku senario terburuk, maka kerajaan boleh mendapatkan semula 10.02 bilion ringgit daripada 19.68 bilion ringgit yang telah dibayar.
Lim also said 4 rounds of negotiations were held between the two companies, which also includes relevant bodies such as the Council of Eminent Persons and its chairman, Tun Daim Zainuddin. He noted that no agreement was made between Malaysia Rail and the project contractor on how to lower the cost of the ECRL, adding that the details of negotiations must remain confidential pending a final decision on the project. The Dewan Rakyat was also told that to date, only 50 individuals had handed over their lesen terbang to the authorities. This out of the 14,000 motorists suspected to possess such licenses, which are obtained through illegal means. Deputy Transport Minister Datuk Kamaruddin Jaafar said the case is still under investigation by the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission MACC.
Daripada jumlah tersebut, 25 orang merupakan bukan warga negara, manakala 25 orang lagi merupakan warga negara Malaysia. Seperti mana yang telah diumumkan oleh Kementerian Pengangkutan terdahulu, kes salah laku lesen terbang ini sedang disiasat oleh pihak Suruhanjaya Pencegahan Rasuah Malaysia, SPRM, dan beberapa penangkapan telah dibuat pada bulan yang lalu.
He added that the MACC investigation focuses on the procedures that certain quarters use in converting the licenses which belong to drivers of foreign nationalities to Malaysian drivers' licenses, thus is complicated and needs time. On September 13th, Transport Minister Anthony Loke warned 14,000 license holders to voluntarily give up their lesen terbang within a month. He had earlier said that those who come forward will not have any action taken against them, as they may be assisting the ministry as witnesses. Datuk Sri Hishamuddin Tun Hussein today said he is willing to help the government find fugitive businessman Low Tek Jo, better known as Joe Low, in a bid to facilitate probes into One Malaysia Development Berhad 1MDB. The Sembroh MP, who was former Special Functions Minister as well as Defence Minister, said finding Low is key to bringing closure to the case. Datuk Sri Hishamuddin, who spoke to the media at the Parliament lobby today, also said if Low wants to clear his name, he must come back to Malaysia and face all the charges.
People say that Joe Low is in China, and we want Joe Low to face justice and brought to the face of the courts. And if he is in China, then I have my links with China from before to help find some closure on 1MDB.
Low was charged in absentia with money laundering and remains wanted in the 1MDB investigations. His precise location remains unknown, though he was variously believed to be in China and Taiwan. The police are seeking assistance of Interpol to locate the businessman.
Our approach is to fundamentally question how quality...
Moving on, the Transport Ministry has no plans to eliminate e-hailing services such as Grab, but is committed in ensuring a level playing field for taxi operators. Its Deputy Minister, Datuk Kamarudin Jaafar, said the government wanted to provide equal opportunities between taxi operators and e-hailing companies to ensure fair play and competitiveness. He noted that Grab is a reliable transportation service that is not only available in Malaysia, but all over the world as a way to complement the existing public transport services. Datuk Kamarudin also said the ministry had ensured that the rules and regulations imposed on taxi operators were applicable to e-hailing companies as well, but the process will take time. Taxi drivers nationwide have been demanding the government to address the issue concerning e-hailing services, which they claimed had affected their livelihood. Yesterday, a group of taxi drivers walked out during a dialogue session with Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad in Langkawi, as they were unhappy with the explanation given by the Premier on the issue. They had also threatened to hold mega protests on the streets if no action is taken against the e-hailing services. The Health Ministry has confirmed that Salmonella bacteria was responsible for a string of laksa food poisoning cases that resulted in 2 fatalities. Health Director General Dr. Nur Hisham Abdullah said on Sunday that laboratory tests found the bacteria in the clinical samples of the patients and the laksa sample. In a statement, he said the bacteria was detected in the laksa noodle, which was bought last October 4th at a food stall in Bading Kedah, which was produced at a processing premises also owned by the food stall owner. The risk factors contributing to food poisoning are likely to arise from the process of preparing and storing unclean laksa noodles and the temperature during the process of preparing the laksa, which may be inadequate to kill the germs. A total of 83 cases, including 2 deaths, were reported after customers consumed laksa bought at the stall last October 8th. Coming up, female pilots make debut with Malaysia Airlines. Details next. Welcome back. Now let's take a look at clickbait for what's trending and making rounds in the cyber world today. Now, a prank can be funny, but it can be really annoying at times. And just yesterday, a Facebook page named Sarawak Viral shared an amusing story of how 2 teenagers dressed themselves as pocong to scare the villagers. But the best part was they got caught in the action and were punished in a rather unusual way. Apparently, they have been pulling this trick every now and then to scare those who lived in the same village. Finally, they were caught red-handed by the villagers, and as their punishment, they were sent to a cemetery nearby and asked to spend the night there, which was befitting for the pocong, if we were honest. This amusing incident had garnered quite a lot of reaction, as it was shared over 8,000 times within 24 hours. One of many netizens reacted to the post saying that the pranksters got what they deserved. Now, let's hope they won't make a comeback as Pontiana or other ghosts in the near future. Now updated as of 7 p.m, here are the top trending topics and searches on the internet today. Sultan Salahuddin Ibni Almarhum Sultan Badli Shah was today installed as the 29th Sultan of Kedah at the Balai Loseri of Istana Anak Bukit in Al-Star. The installation was held in the full tradition and custom of the Kedah Balai Sultanate, a historic ceremony for the state, considering that the last installation was held almost 6 decades ago in 1959. The Sultanah of Kedah, Sultanah Maliha Almarhum Tengku Arif, Raja Muda of Kedah and the Kedah royal family attended the ceremony. Also in attendance were the representatives of the Sultan of Brunei, Sultan Hassan Al Bolkiah. Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad and his wife Tun Dr. Siti Hasmah Muhammad Ali were also present, as well as the Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Wan Azizah Wan Ismail and her husband Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim, and Kedah Menteri Besar Datuk Sri Mukhris Tun Mahathir and his wife Tok Puan Norzita Zakaria. Another unique feature about today's ceremony was that Sultan Salahuddin wore a new and specially designed tengkolok, or headdress, that is based on the design of the headdress worn by the ruler's late father, Sultan Badli Shah, the 27th Sultan of Kedah. Three local women have broken traditional gender stereotypes by becoming the first batch of female pilots with Malaysia Airlines. While most women in the aviation industry would opt to work as either flight attendants or ground staff, the three, namely Captain Pearl Wendy Mak, Second Officer Wang Wenqian, and Cadet Pilot Nur Wei Hidayah Muhammad Rasidin, decided to go against the norm and pursue their dreams of flying. According to the International Society of Women Pilots estimation in 2017, out of 130,000 pilots in the world, only 3,000 are female pilots, and that's just only 3%. For 50-year-old Captain Mac, who has been flying for 25 years, flying an aircraft is not an easy job for women. But in today's world, more and more women are making inroads into sectors that were previously an exclusive domain for men.
So long as you play your part, I think, and not come into an industry thinking that you'll be treated differently, because you're not. You just got to go with what is already a set course in aviation, which is to work as a team and treated as a pilot, not as a female or a male, but as a pilot.
Meanwhile, Second Officer Wang's dream of becoming a pilot began when her father took her for a fly-for-fun one-day pilot course in Subang when she was 15.
That's actually how I explore to cope with the male-dominant world. And I find it, initially it was a bit hard for me because it was a very new thing to me, but once I got used to it and I came back to Malaysia with joining Malaysia Airlines, I find I cope it easily and much more better than I expected, actually.
As for 21-year-old Nur Wei Hidayah, a cadet pilot with Malaysia Airlines since December 2017, she was inspired by her father, who is also a pilot.
When I was in my batch, I was the only girl. I was the youngest as well in the school, and they were like family. They were my brothers, my big brothers, and whenever I had any questions or if I had trouble with anything, I would always go up to them and they would always tutor me, or sometimes they would come to me to be tutored. So like we work together, we help each other.
Malaysia Airlines Berhad Group's CEO, Captain Izham Ismail, hopes that in the future, more female pilots will join the national carrier and make the country proud.
So we see in Malaysia Airlines that an average of 150 pilots injection in the form of cadet pilots will have to take place for the next few years on a yearly basis. They have to cater for attrition, retirement, and many others. So the pilot shortage is not a short-term fix for Malaysia Airlines. We embrace that the industry for the next 10 years require this huge resource requirement.
The airline is now opening its female pilot program for new enrollment. To date, Malaysia Airlines has 2,286 cabin crew and 927 pilots operating its fleet of aircraft. In an effort to drive and promote best practices in the field of energy efficiency and renewable energy in Malaysia, The Energy, Science, Technology, Environment and Climate Change Ministry, MESTECC, has for the first time organized the National Energy Award, NEA. 73 participants comprising experts, industry leaders and academicians from the private and public sectors sent in their submissions following an open call since January. 7 winners and 6 runners-up for the energy efficiency category, alongside 4 winners and 2 runners-up for the renewable energy category, were selected. The winners of the energy efficiency category were chosen for implementing energy efficiency measures in buildings and industries through innovative design. In the renewable energy category, winners were selected for applying renewable energy technologies such as thermal, solar, or biofuels into their operations. For the winners, the awards serve as an encouragement and inspiration for others to follow suit.
So we thank you very much for our minister, Yu Yin, for these awards. And then actually for these awards is what we've done is all about energy savings. We are aiming to improve all the energy efficiency in our plant, and also to help the environment to achieve better sustainability for our environment.
Dengan anugerah yang dimenangi oleh syarikat kami, Bright Integrity Biodiesel, ini memangkin lagi semangat kami untuk menjadi lebih kreatif dan inovatif dalam industri tenaga hijau.
The top awards were presented by the minister, Yu Yin. Yo, in her speech, said that she hoped that the winners would share their best practices with their peers so that others would be inspired to follow suit, resulting in a win-win outcome for everyone. The award is also part of the government's recognition of the private sector's as well as government agencies' efforts in creating renewable energy and energy efficiency.
Now look to the photographers in the center, right?